Okay, good. So this one is slightly different. You're happy? Because there's a little bit more work that you need to do to get there. Okay? So what's the first thing you need to do?
Put the sine x to the one.
Good, exactly. So you need to solve this equation so you get sine x equals. So let's think about this. I can say that sine squared x, well, are you happy if I add 3 to both sides? I get 3 on this side, and then I can just divide 3 by 4. Happy with that? Okay. But I don't want sine squared, I just want sine, so how am I going to find sine? Yeah, I'm going to square root both sides, okay? So if I square root the 3, I just get root 3. If I square root the 4, I just get 2. Good. Why do I need to do a plus or minus? You must remember this, because this will be an extra mark. Why do I need to do a plus or minus?
It could be negative or positive. When you square it, it will change to positive.
I'm literally saying here, some number when I square it is a positive root 3. So if I square root it, I'm saying that it could be a positive root or it could also be the negative root. So literally like saying y squared equals 9. Okay? There's 2 answers that y could be. It could either be positive 3 or it could be negative 3. So I need to make sure I include both of those. That make sense? Right? Because that will affect your answer. Okay? Now actually here, look what angle unit I'm using. It's radians, right? So I'm going to convert it now. So 0 stays the same, but what does 4 pi become in degrees?
720.
Good, 720 degrees. Basically 2 lots of 2 pi, 2 lots of 360. Okay? All right, good. So now I'm in a position where I think I can find my base angle. So I can do step 1, find my base angle. Okay? Good. And I can literally just do the sine inverse. Now just be careful, is it just 60? Good, absolutely. So it's either 60 or negative 60. All right, so I'm going to do the positive root first. So this is if I do the positive root, in other words, sine inverse of positive root 3 over 2. Then I'm going to go back and look at the negative root. Okay, so I'm going to do the sine inverse of negative root 3 over 2. Okay, right, now I can move on to step 2. I can draw the graph. So I'm going to draw it over here. Now just remind me, where does the sine graph start from? It's 0, right? And how many cycles of the sine graph am I going to have? 2, right? That's 1 cycle from 0 to 360. So I've got to go again to get from 0 to 720. Just got to go up and come back down again. Okay? Now it's just a case of going back and putting my interesting angles on. Okay? Just remind me, what is the maximum and minimum value of sine? 1 and negative 1. Perfect. What's this point here? 90. Good. What's this point here? What's this point here? What's this point here? This point here. Good. Just add on 90 every single time. Yeah? What's this point here? What's this point here? Good. Okay? So that's enough for the moment for drawing the graph. Now just think, I want both positive root 3 and negative root 3. I'm going to do the positive one first. I'm going to do the positive root first. So positive root 3 is going to, sorry, positive root 3 over 2 is going to be about there. Okay, so that's positive root 3 over 2, let's say. Okay, so let's do this. I've got one angle already. I've got that angle there. What is that angle for me? It's the 60 degrees one. That's the one that I've already found. It's the one I've already found. Okay, then I just need to find the other ones. So, what would that point there be? Good. Why is it 120? Good, exactly, because you look at the distance between where it goes through the axis and the point which you're after, in other words, that distance in there, that is 60 degrees, okay? So you notice here it goes through the axis, so I need to go 60 degrees back, which will get me to 120. Am I finished? No, I've still got 2 more over here. So what's that point there going to be? Yeah, good, 420, because again, same reason. Where it goes to the axis to that point there has to be 60 degrees, so I've got another 420. Okay, and then what about this point over here? Yeah, good. Because again, it's just 60 degrees back from 540. Okay? So that's the positive root done. That's the positive root done. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah, good. Okay. So let's go back then and also do the negative root as well. So there's also another one at negative root 3 over 2. So let me draw this in a different colour. There's a negative root 3 over 2. So I'm going to draw my line all the way across. I notice there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now just notice here, my negative root, when I stuck it in a calculator and did sine inverse of negative root 3 over 2, it comes out as negative 60, doesn't it? Now is negative 60 the one which I want here? No, what it's given me is if you continue this graph over on this side, okay, it's given me this point here. You happy with that? It's given me this point here. So in other words, if I continue it, there's negative 90, there's negative 180. So in other words, if I continue this line back, it's found me this point here. You happy? So it's given me negative 60. That's not what I want because it's outside of my domain. Okay? But it's not an issue. I can still think about this. Okay? So the distance from where it goes through the axis to the point which I'm after is still 60 degrees, isn't it? You see that? So in other words, if I'm looking for this point here, this is where it goes through the axis. So I know the distance between where it goes through the axis and that point there is going to be the same as that distance, which is 60 degrees. Does that make sense to everyone? Mm-hmm. Yeah? So what is this point going to be here?
240.
Good. It's just going to be 60 degrees on from 180, which is 240. So I've got my point here, which is 240 degrees. Okay? What's this point here going to be? York, what's this point here going to be? This point here going to be? Good, yeah, it's going to be 300 degrees. You happy? It's just 60 degrees from where it goes through the axis. The distance between there and there has to be 60 degrees. Is that okay? York, is that okay?
Yeah.
Good. Okay?
I'm a bit lost.
Right?
From 0 to okay, so that's 60.
That's 60 there, which means that's got to be 60 there because it goes through the axis there. So it's got to be 60 degrees between that point and that point.
So just calculate from the point that it goes through that.
Exactly. I could have calculated it from a trough if I wanted to, but I've chosen to go from where it goes through the axis. Yeah? So what's this point over here going to be?
540 plus 60.
Good, 540 plus 60, because that distance got to be 60. Good, 600. What's this point here going to be?
760, so it's 640, 607.
60?
60, yes.
Yeah, good. So it's got to be 60 degrees back from 720, which is 660. Does that make sense? Yeah, so we've got 240, 300, 600, and 660. Is that okay? Now just have a look. Do all of these angles, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them, do they all fit the domain which I had here? Which one doesn't? The negative 60, the one which we got on our calculator. So actually, we need to rule that one out. Okay, so always do that little check sort of between this point and this point. Okay, always check that it's definitely between the domain because sometimes your calculator will screw things up. Is that okay? Good, okay. Have we finished?
Not yet.
What have we got left to do?
Convert it to radians.
Good, you've got to convert it back into radians. You've got to do that full step, okay? So converting degrees into radians, how do we do that again? Yeah, times by pi over 180. So I'm just going to do it as one big long list. All right, so first one is going to be 60. So times that by pi over 180, pi by 3, okay? Next one, so 120 degrees, what are we going to get? 2 pi by 3. Next one, let's do 240 next. Let's try and keep them in some kind of order. Let's do 240 times that by pi over 180 degrees. Good, 4 pi by 3. Let's do 300 next. 5 pi by 3. Let's do 420 next. So we've done that one, that one, that one. That one, let's do 420 next. Could it come next? 7 pi by 3. Okay, let's do 480 next. Let's do 600 next.
8/3.
Good. Wait, what?
Oh, we already did it.
Yeah, we've done that one. What about 600 degrees? Yeah, good. 10 pi over 3. Okay. What about 660 degrees?
11/3.
Yeah, 11 pi over 3. There you go. So that there would be your final answer. Okay? Now notice that it looks worse. It looks worse, but that's just because you have both a positive and a negative as well. You would get more marks for it. You would get more marks for it because there's more places to go wrong. So we want to give you as many possible opportunities to gain those method marks, okay? But you're happy it's exactly the same process as the one up there. Exactly the same. You just need to keep your wits about you because the diagram can get pretty busy.
Yeah.
Okay?